Welcome back to Rooter Read Along. Today we continue with The Forbidden Stone by Tony Abbott, Chapter 7. Wade turned to his father. Dad? Dr. Kaplan appeared to freeze for a moment. Then he slipped off his glasses and rubbed his eyes, the phone crackling on the table. Excuse me, I don't think we heard you. Are you saying Heinrich... Dead, yeah. The voice rasped from the other end. The fun... Becca silently mouthed the word fun. Funeral. Tomorrow morning. Alte St. Matthaus Kirchhof. Here, Berlin. 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock? Said Lily. Yeah. Wait, this can't be right, said Wade. His chest was burning. I mean, how? How did he die? When? The voice on the other end went in and out. Frau Munch, his father said, leaning over the phone. Frau, hurry, you will miss the burial. The line clicked. She had hung up. The children stared at one another, listening to the dial tone until the phone blinked and the connection was severed. Lily set it back on its cradle. Wade felt suddenly dizzy, as if freezing water streamed down his back, while the inside of his chest was on fire. Dad? He lowered himself onto the sofa and felt Becca's hand touch his shoulder. Uncle Henry? Dead? Dr. Kaplan slumped down next to him, nearly buried by the cushions. Wade, I'm so sorry. This is unbelievable. How could Heinrich be dead? He looked at the wall clock. I can't go. Not with you here and Sarah flying off to South America. He seemed as deflated as the pillows around him. Darryl picked up the translated email and read over its few words. I mean, I didn't know Uncle Henry, but something about this isn't right. He sends you a strange email, a coded message, and now he's dead? This is way too suspicious. Wade stood up on the sofa. Becca's hand slipped away. Dad, what do you think we should do? His father pressed his fingers to his temples and rubbed them in slow circles. Kids, I don't know yet. It's too sudden, but I'm fairly sure there's no time to do anything. Certainly not while your mom's away. He took a deep breath. His face was drawn and gray. Well, at least call her, said Darryl. She needs to know. Roald glanced again at his watch, as if trying to find more information there than it could deliver. She'll be in the air now, but I'll leave a message. Lily, could you look up the flight to La Paz, Bolivia, and see when her first layover is? Sure thing. She tapped and swiped her screen. Roald dried his eyes and dialed Sarah's number. Sarah, hi. I know you're in the air now, but call me when you get to the first stop. Atlanta in 2 hours, Lily reported. But there's a storm. He nodded. Everybody's fine, but a dear old professor of mine has passed away, Heinrich Vogel. You've heard of me talk about him. His funeral is tomorrow in Germany. Of course, I'm not going to leave the kids for a second. Lily and her friend Becca are here too. I feel I should go. Well, call me from Atlanta when you land and we'll sort this out. He hung up. Does anybody seriously think his death has anything to do with the email and the code? Becca asked. It's kind of too James Bond to be real. Bond is real, Darryl whispered. I wish his housekeeper had told us more, said Wade. Why didn't she tell us? And these things in the news, Lily said. They can't really be connected to Uncle Henry. I can't imagine how they could be, Roald said. They sound like accidents, tragic but unrelated. He flipped page after page of his notebook. The Magister's legacy. Magister. That sounds slightly familiar. He started pacing as he read. Heinrich, what are you trying to tell us? Wade knew his father always paced when he was thinking through math problems. This was something else entirely. Bring us with you, Becca said suddenly. Roald turned. What? Lily jumped up. Yes, 6 of us. We're going to fly to France. 6 of us were going to fly to France. But we got airline credit instead. I bet that's more than enough for a bunch of tickets to Germany. We have our passports already. We should go, Uncle Roald. Dr. Kaplan laughed nervously. No, no, no. The boys looked at each other. Dad, we've all got passports from Mexico last year, said Darryl. And you could use some backup. Europe is all about spies, isn't it? Maybe not so much anymore, said Becca. No, there are tons of movies, Darryl said. They call it the Cold War, Becca said. That's over now. Or maybe that's what they want you to believe. Kids, really, spies, backup. Heinrich was an old man. It might just have been his time to go. What do you think this is all about? Wade didn't know what it was all about. He didn't know anything except that Uncle Henry died right after they got a coded message, and his father wanted to go to Berlin for the funeral of his old friend. Of their old friend. Uncle Henry was connected from the beginning with his own deep love of astronomy. Maybe we can fly there, Dad, he said quietly. After Atlanta, Sarah's going to be unreachable for a week anyway. Uncle Henry told us to find some relics. Well, Europe has tons of relics. Dad, really, I think we should go. Wade, his father trailed off, his eyes turning from his notebook to the email message on the table and the coded star chart spread out next to it. Maybe I can ask my assistant Joan to stay for a couple of days to watch over you. You remember her. She's young and fun, well, youngish, and she has a poodle now. Darryl snorted. Dad, remember last vacation? She ran screaming out of here after only 2 hours with Wade and me. I think we'd better go with you. No one's going to Europe, Dr. Kaplan said, wiping his eyes again. We can't. Lily sidled over and patted his arm with her tablet. But we could, Uncle Roald. He was your teacher, your friend, and Wade's uncle. We can so do it. According to the airline website, the next flight is completely doable. We can totally make it. I've got the credit codes for tickets right here. I just checked. My dad is fine with it. I think we should all pack our chargers and go. You already checked with your dad? Roald said. Seeing his father's expression begin to soften, Wade wanted to hug Lily. If Becca had said what Lily just had, he wouldn't have been able to stop himself. His father stood in the center of the room, his eyes shut, his head tilted up. Wade knew the look. His father needed quiet while he worked out the last few elements of a problem. He was brilliant that way. On the other hand, if his father thought like that for too long, he might anticipate the hundreds of reasons not to fly to Berlin with a bunch of kids and remember someone to stay with while he went alone. Dad, I want to go, Wade said. Me too, said Darryl. I think we should, all of us, as a family. Boys, Roald started, then wrapped his arms around them. All right. Yes. I'll book the flights now and call a cab, said Lily. Better pack. Only a little over 2 hours to take off.